Welcome to this class of conflict resolution and peace studies. Today we will discuss the concept of human security. The term security has always been conceptualized as being associated with the state. The idea of extending the concept of security from state security to individual human beings was first articulated by the Independent Commission on Disarmament and Security Issues in 1982. The Common Security Report provided the first comprehensive criticism of the purely military approach to security, while highlighting the need to devote due attention to the relation between security and the well-being of individuals. The Commission on Human Security defines it as the attempt to protect the vital core of all human lives in ways that enhance human freedom and human fulfillment. Human security fully entered the policy and academic debates only in the early 1990s. Nevertheless, despite its widespread usage within the international and national policy circles, its definition remains highly contested. The holistic vision of protecting security of the people lends itself to a variety of interpretations shaped by relative understandings of what constitutes a threat to the security of individuals, how the intensity and repercussions of any given threat can be measured, and by what possible means the threat can be prevented or removed. The coalition of states and supranational organizations that have supported the approach can mount numerous accomplishments, such as the Ottawa Convention, which is related to the Mines Ban Treaty, the establishment of the International Criminal Court, the optional protocol to the Convention of the Rights of Child. Thus, human security at the most basic level refers to the security of the people from the state, natural or societal violence or fear of it. In connection with the immediate post-Cold War period and the new development agenda, the first authoritative definition of human security was provided in 1994 when Mehboob ul Haq drew attention to the concept in the United Nations Development Programme UNDP Human Development Report. Beyond territorial and military concerns, the report argued that human security is fundamentally concerned with human life and dignity. For analytical purposes, UNDP has disentangled its four main characteristics. First, it is universal, its components are interdependent, it is best ensured through prevention, and it is people-centered. On the more substantive level, the definition of human security given in the report remained broad and all-encompassing. For the UNDP, human security meant safety from chronic threats such as hunger, disease, repression, and it also meant protection from sudden and hurtful disruptions in the patterns of daily life. Understood in these terms, human security has also been encapsulated in the freedom from fear and freedom from want policy axioms. Although acknowledging the varying intensity of possible threats to human welfare, UNDP grouped these threats in 7 non-exhaustive and non-exclusive security categories: community, economic, environmental, food, health, personal, and political. Despite the broadness and the apparent conceptual weaknesses of the definition provided by the report, the general prescriptions outlined therein provided a useful springboard for academic inquiry and remained useful for organizing the concept for the work of the international organizations through the 1990s. The various dimensions of human security that have been focused in the last few decades include economic security, food security, health security, environmental security, personal security, community security, and political security, to name a few. Gradually, human security has also developed as an approach. It gives primacy to human beings and their complex social and economic interactions. The concept of human security represents a departure from orthodox security studies, which focus on the security of the state. The subjects of human security approach are individuals, and its aim goals is the protection of people from traditional, that is military, and non-traditional threats such as poverty and disease. In this way, it is a more holistic concept than the concept of national security. Moving the security agenda beyond state security does not mean replacing it, but rather involves complementing and building on it. Central to this approach is the understanding that human security deprivations can undermine peace and stability within and between states, whereas an overemphasis on state security can be detrimental to human welfare. The state remains a central provider of security, but state security is not a sufficient condition for human welfare. Being centered around the concepts of freedom from want and freedom from fear, human security today includes organized crime and violence, genocide, conflict-ridden violence, security from trafficking, security from poverty and unemployment, security from hunger and famine, security from deadly diseases and poor health care, security from environmental degradation, security from natural man-made disaster, security from domestic, ethical, religious and physical violence as well as crime, security from child abuse and labor, security from terrorist activities, terrorism, security from political repression. Human security is often seen in opposition to state security. The truth, however, is that human security complements state security, but it can also conflict with the state security based on the regime and state power. Secure states do not necessarily mean secure people. National security mainly focuses on military threats within a state. Military retribution from the state leads to conflicting human security interests within the state. National security heavily leans on firepower, whereas human security depends on people's contribution and development. Many international organizations have taken up human security as an important approach since the 1990s. We have discussed in our classes how the United Nations and other organizations such as ICRC have helped in setting up the war crime tribunals, international criminal courts, and the United Nations Peacebuilding Commission with a view to implement human security. Human security has entered the policy discourse of a number of governments now. Notable examples are Canada and Japan during the 1990s and early 2000s. Each of these governments provided a slightly different definition of the concept and customized its application to best suit its individual interests. The government of Japan subscribed to a comprehensive understanding of human security, one that covers all the aspects that potentially endanger survival, daily life, and human dignity. On the other hand, the Canadian government, led by the former Foreign Minister Lloyd Axworthy, adhered to a narrower but still very open-ended definition of human security, which distinguishes freedom from fear from freedom from want, while acknowledging their distinctiveness and mutual interdependence. An attempt to institutionalize human security agenda internationally created Human Security Network, a result of a bilateral agreement between Canada and Norway in 1998. 13 other countries and one observer later joined the initiative. This intergovernmental forum was created so as to advance and embed further the human security agenda within global governance, with the end goal of creating a more human world free from fear and want, and where people can fully develop their human potential. The network was intended to serve as a forum for dialogue and research, and above all, as a venue to share evolving understandings and practices to advance the development of human security approach. Substantively, the policy proceedings resulting from yearly ministerial meetings provided general guidelines from states where the safety and well-being of citizens were endangered. They also helped legitimize the United Nations overarching framework for human security approach. Yet, beyond this coalition of the willing, very few states embraced the approach and used it as reference for their domestic and foreign policies. The 1994 United Nations Development Report opened an outlet for academic redefinition of human security. Numerous scholars attempted to disentangle the dimensions of what immediately appeared to be an overly unrestrained analytical tool, which by virtue of its all-encompassing nature could lose its meaning. A number of scholars worked towards a recategorization of what could be classified as a threat to human security. This reconceptualization of human security engaged the scholars in a fierce academic debate, some in favor of narrowing the concept to a valuable essence and some wanting to preserve its holistic character. On the grounds of analytical rigor, pragmatism and policy relevance, some experts argued that the sole denominator for human security agenda should be a focus on violent threats. In this view, a list-like description of any possible bad thing that could happen to individuals is a peril to the conceptual clarity and renders causal analysis virtually impossible. Advocates of the broad theorization opposed this approach. They argued that once the referent of the security agenda becomes the individual, it is impossible to disentangle violent threats to individuals from other issues such as poverty, environmental degradation, infectious diseases that directly impede on the safety, freedom and self-realization of human beings. In this view, human security means not only meeting the basic needs but also the realization of human dignity. Other scholars offer a middle approach, bridging the narrow and broad conceptualization. They produced an analytical scheme including only those elements that, in their view, human beings might fight over or risk their lives for. The debate is far from settled and remains a source of controversy. In particular, all the attempts that have been made to sharpen the definition of human security had to confront the exclusive problems of either attaching a value and a priority to possible potential threats to human life and vaguely justifying such a choice, or of maintaining the undefined connotations embedded in the original proposal while losing its analytical rigor. So that's all about the concept of human security. We will meet again with another concept tomorrow.